We are not always fighting the world. Sometimes, the most brutal battles happen inside of us. Silent wars. Wars without witnesses. Wars where the only casualty is the life we might have lived. Picture a man standing at the edge of a bridge old and weary, stretched across a river that has seen centuries pass by. Behind him, his town, his life, crumbles gently into dusk. There are crooked houses with paint peeling off, familiar faces sitting on sagging porches, conversations about the same things they talked about yesterday and the day before that. It is safe, it is known, it is home, but it is also a place where dreams go to die quietly. Ahead of him, a vast open road disappears into the horizon, golden in the setting sun, promising nothing and everything. He has told himself stories about this road for years. He has whispered promises under his breath in the dark. When the time comes, I will go. I will be brave. I will choose more. But now that he stands here, the familiar weight of fear presses into his chest. His palms sweat. His mind races with doubts so old and so ingrained that they feel like truth. What if I am not ready? What if I am not good enough? What if it all falls apart? And in that hesitation, that tiny crack in his armor, something ancient stirs. The instinct to protect himself, to preserve the little he has, rather than risk everything for something uncertain. His fingers, almost without thinking, find the match in his pocket. He strikes it, he throws it, and the bridge behind him catches fire, flames racing hungrily across the wood. He watches it burn with a strange relief, and an even stranger sorrow. Now he cannot go back, but he has also made it harder to move forward. He has trapped himself between a past he destroyed and a future he is too afraid to claim. We like to believe that sabotage is something reckless, something dramatic, something other people do. But the truth is, most self-sabotage is subtle. It is reasonable. It is patient. It wears the mask of common sense. We say, I am just being realistic, when really, we are giving up before we can fail. We say, maybe it was not meant for me, when really, we are terrified of finding out what would happen if it was meant for us. We abandon love, dreams, opportunities, not because we do not care, but because caring makes us vulnerable, because wanting makes us weak, because the bigger the dream, the more devastating the fall might be. Thousands of years ago, Seneca, the great Stoic thinker, wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." Our minds are not built for happiness, they are built for survival. And survival, for most of human history, meant playing it safe, staying where it was known, trusting only what was familiar. When a new opportunity appears, a better job, a deeper relationship, a bigger dream, our primitive brain does not cheer. It panics. It floods us with fear. It screams that we are venturing too far from the village, that we are risking exile, loneliness, death. Evolution trained us to choose safety over possibility, to stay small even when our soul was made for greatness. Imagine for a moment you are a young warrior in an ancient world. You have spent years training for a battle you believe in with all your heart. The day finally arrives. The horn sounds. The gates open. But when you step out onto the field and see the vastness of the army before you, your knees buckle. Not because you are unskilled, not because you are unworthy, but because in that moment, the risk of loss feels greater than the hope of victory. You tell yourself it is better to retreat now, to survive today, to try again later, but deep down you know, there may never be another day. And retreat is not survival, it is surrender. This is the paradox of self-sabotage. It feels like protection, but it is often the slowest form of self-destruction. A death by 1,000 tiny retreats. A life measured not by what we dared to build, but by what we carefully dismantled before anyone could take it from us. Carl Jung taught that until we bring the unconscious into consciousness, it will rule our lives, and we will call it fate. We will call it bad luck, wrong timing, someone else's fault. But the reality is, most of the time, we are the ones pulling the rug out from under our own feet. And we do it so skillfully, so convincingly, that we do not even realize it. The man on the bridge feels this war inside him. The flames crackle behind him, casting long shadows. His chest aches with the desire to move forward, to trust that he is enough, to believe that the life he dreams about could actually be his. But fear grips him like a hand around his throat. Fear tells him that hope is dangerous, that he is safer living small, staying unseen, never asking for too much. And for a long, agonizing moment, he believes it. And maybe you have been there too. Maybe you have sabotaged opportunities just as they were about to bloom. Maybe you have walked away from love before it had the chance to truly see you. Maybe you have convinced yourself to give up on a dream because the risk of disappointment felt too heavy to bear. It is not because you are broken. It is because you are human. In the ancient Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu writes, "He who is brave is free, but bravery is not the absence of fear. It is moving forward even with fear riding on your shoulders, whispering doubts in your ears." The real turning point is not when the fear disappears. It is when you decide that the life you want is worth walking through fear for, worth risking for, worth hurting for, if necessary. The man breathes in the smoke, the fear, the uncertainty, and then, almost imperceptibly, he takes a step. Just one. His foot touches the road. The earth does not swallow him. The sky does not fall. He takes another, then another. Each step is a rebellion against every story he has ever been told about what he is allowed to be. Each step is a small death of an old self and a birth of something stronger. Self-sabotage begins to lose its power the moment we recognize it for what it is. Not fate, not destiny, just a reflex, a habit, a shadow we no longer have to obey. It will not vanish overnight. Fear will come again. Doubt will find new disguises. There will be days when the old stories seem louder than the new ones you are trying to write. That is part of the journey. That is part of being alive. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that what stands in the way becomes the way. The obstacle is not an enemy, it is an invitation. Every fear you face, every risk you dare to take, every step into the unknown, these are not signs you are failing, they are signs you are living. The man walks on, the bridge now just aglow on the horizon behind him. His steps grow steadier, his shoulders square. He does not know exactly where the road leads, but he knows he is no longer willing to live a life half-lived. He knows he is no longer willing to be his own jailer. Maybe you are standing at your own bridge right now. Maybe the match is already in your hand. Maybe you have already felt the temptation to destroy your way forward before you even take the first step, but you do not have to light it. You do not have to burn what could save you. The unknown will always feel terrifying at first. That is the price of transformation. That is the cost of freedom. And if you can hold your fear tenderly, if you can look it in the eyes and walk forward anyway, then one day, you will find yourself standing not at the end of a road, but at the beginning of a life you once believed was impossible. And you will realize, you were never fighting the world. You were only ever fighting to believe you deserved more. And you do. You always have.